What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I'm going to share something with you today that is going to be very useful to keep you calm as you experiment and work on your website in the future. Now, I'm going to walk you through the easiest way to create a backup and restore strategy for your WordPress site. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen website owners in situations where they didn't have a backup or restore strategy, and all of their data and design and files that are valuable to them were lost. So this is extremely powerful and useful to anybody that has a WordPress site. And the best part about what I'm about to show you is the process is painless and completely free. And you do not need to be any type of advanced WordPress user to create a successful and easy to use backup and restore strategy. Okay, so before I dive into it, I do want to share that I fully understand that there are many plugins out there that can allow you to create a successful backup and restore strategy. And I've used them all, trust me. I fully recommend and solely recommend one single backup and restore strategy plugin called Updraft Plus. Now, the reason I do is because I have never run into an issue, regardless of how large the website is or regardless of where the website is hosted, that a backup will not complete. But there are three major things that Updraft Plus does that no other backup plugin offers. And these things are important, so I want to tell you. The first thing is they allow automatic one-click restore. So with the click of a mouse button, which I'm going to show you shortly, you can fully restore your site from a backup file. Now, the second thing that Updraft Plus does, which no other backup plugin offers, is the ability to do automatic backups before you complete an update. So let me explain that a little bit. If you have an update to a plugin or a theme on your site, Updraft Plus will automatically run a backup before it starts the update. And this is powerful, right? Because if the update creates any issues, you can just go back and restore. Okay. And then the third thing, and this is less powerful to most WordPress users, but Updraft Plus is the only backup plugin that will back up encrypted data. And an example of encrypted data would be, let's say you are running some type of healthcare site and you have medical documents in your database, or let's say you have credit card information or, personal customer information in your database that is encrypted, right? Because you have to by law. So Updraft Plus is the only backup plugin that will actually back up encrypted data. All right, so let's just dive in, right? You're not going to believe how easy this is, okay? So I just have a test site here, and we're just going to go into the admin area, and we're just going to add a new plugin. We already know which one we're going to add, Updraft Plus, of course, right? So we're just going to search for that. We're going to install it really quickly here, activate it. Once we activate that, we are going to have a new menu item under settings. We're going to click in there. And just to let you know, this plugin has over 1 million downloads on WordPress.org. It's very popular, is very well maintained, very supported. I actually know the developer pretty well. What a great guy, there to help you if you have issues, which I've never had in the past. I've simply come to know him because I'm such a fan of his work and what he's done to create this. Okay, so it's going to take us into the main screen, and we notice the big backup button here. So let's just click on that. And that's going to give us some options. So the first check mark here is include database and backup. Yes, we want to. Okay, we definitely want that. Then the next check mark here is include all files. So if we click the three dots here, it can give us some options of what we want to save. We definitely want to save our plugin files. Let's save our theme files, all of our uploads, right? And then any other folders that are created or exist inside of the WP content folder, those will also be backed up. Now we're working on the free version of Updraft Plus. The premium version, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, will give you some more options on this screen. Like you can back up specific database tables. You can also back up WordPress core, which I never really see the need to back up WordPress core because you should never be customizing core files, and you can always get a backup of WordPress core from WordPress.org. And then there's an option here to send to remote storage, which I'll show you that in a moment. But for the purposes of this training here, we're just going to keep these two checked. That's just the default settings, right? And then we're just going to click backup now. You can see the plugin requesting some backup. Bam, backup's done. Wow, that was quick. There's nothing on the site. But I've seen this work, and I've used it on websites that have 10 gigabytes or more of files and data. So it never gets stuck either. So we see down here that our backup created. We got our database, our plugins, our themes, uploads, and then our others folder. So let's just let's mess around here. Okay, so we're in our site. We want to mess around, and we're going to install a new theme. Okay, we got a new theme active. We're going to create some pages. We're going to change our permalinks to whatever. We're going to, what else can we do in here? Let's create a menu. Looks like we already got one created here, so that's cool. And let's make it global nav. So let's look at our site. This is how our site used to look, right? And this is how our site is now. So we made a bunch of changes, and the reason I'm doing this is because I want to show you how quick and how easy we can go back and restore the site to how it looked before we made those changes, okay? So this is how it looks now, and this is how easy it is to go back and run your restore. So we're simply just going to go back to the Updraft Plus menu, and you see this is a backup that we created, and all we're going to do is click the blue restore button, okay? And then it's going to ask us what we actually want to restore. So the changes that I just made are just in the database, right? But let's say that we deleted a theme on accident, or we removed some plugins. Perhaps we had some of our uploads corrupted, so we need to restore those. But in this case, the changes I just made are only in the database. So we actually only need to restore the database. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to hit restore. It says the file is ready to run. So we're just going to hit restore one more time. Shabam! Look at that. Already done. Restore successful. Love when I see that. And now if we just reload this, we have our look back. That's how easy it is. That's crazy, right? And I know we're working on a site that has no content in it, but I swear to you that regardless of the size of your site or the hosting environment that you're on, this plugin will never let you down. And it does this by using a unique process of splitting the backup files into small chunks. And you can actually adjust those settings. The default settings are more than sufficient, but let's dive into the settings a bit more. So the migrate clone option is only available with the premium version of Updraft Plus. And it's pretty interesting. When I first started using this plugin, it cost $29, but now the lowest entry point is $70, and that will allow you 2 licenses to use on any site. If you're a freelancer or a developer or a support company, I highly recommend getting the unlimited license, which is $200 a year, $195 a year, and it's just a great tool to use, and you can set up automated backups. But let's look at some of those settings. So if we go into setting, this is where we can set automated backups. We can set the interval of how often they run. I like a daily, and then how many we're going to store, okay? Depending on the size of your site and where you're storing them, this could really increase your server usage and slow things down. So if you're storing externally somewhere else, then you really don't have to worry about that. But if you're storing on the server, I like to only do three at a time, and it will just, have a running 3 count at all times and delete any ones that are older. And then, so this is for the files, and then we see database backup. We would set that to daily and 3 as well. And then you see down here, this is the really cool part, right? You can do backups to external locations, right? A really popular one is Dropbox, of course, Google Drive, but you can see there are all kinds, pretty much any location you can think of. I have no idea what Backblaze is, but if you have a storage solution for your files, I guarantee it is one of these, right? And you can also send to multiple locations. And then it's going to ask you what you actually want to include in your backup. This would be your automated backup. And then you'd save those settings. So now the settings have been saved in a way so that the backups run every day automatically. So if I go to sleep tonight and I wake up tomorrow morning and I realize that something's wrong with my website, I can just go back and restore it, okay? And the cool thing is, let's say that you're not able to actually access your admin area to run a restore. You can pull these backup files from wherever you've decided to store them. So if they're on the server, you can use FTP or your web hosting control panel to pull these backup files and do a restore. But in most cases, this restore process will keep you calm when you're making edits on your site, or you want to revert and reverse something that you've done. You can simply use the restore process. But it's easy, right? So easy. And then just some of the premium features, you can see here on the last tab here, it will break down some of the options. If you do a lot of site migrations, moving websites from one server to another, the cloning and migration tool is amazing. They just actually upgraded it. So it will simply like connect the 2 sites and transfer files and migrate without you having to download anything and upload anything. So that's amazing. That's on the premium version. If you're running multi-site, the premium version will allow you to run backup and restores. Same process that we just went through, but for multi-site, and just a lot more options. You can get rid of the ads. You can have some reporting, like if you're a maintenance company and you want to send some backup reports that are branded to your company, it will allow that on the premium version. I highly recommend getting the premium version. It also gives you access to support if you do have questions. I have been personally using this plugin for about 8 years, and I've never had to create a support ticket. So, I mean, that's just amazing to me. And we use this plugin on every single ticket that we service, just in case something happens, we have a backup, and we've never had to create a support ticket. So Updraft Plus, it's amazing. And thanks for tuning in, and I hope this was helpful. If you do not have a backup and restore strategy, get on it, because I have a saying, which I like to use often: back up before you crack up, okay? So get it in place. You saw how easy it is. Set up those daily automated backups, and then just work on other stuff. You don't have to worry about it. All right, thanks for tuning in.